Hey everybody, Privacy Smurf here from Zenalytics Trading with your Fear and Greed update to keep you one step ahead of the retail market.
Today's sentiment update is for the week ending Friday, February 2nd, 2024. Sorry about the quality for this week's update. I'm recording at the rooftop pool at the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Vegas. There wasn't really a better place to do it at the moment, so apologize if there's music or sound in the background. Starting with Bitcoin, sentiment is up from 61 to 65 this week. Prices have been trading mostly between 39 and 45K. Without sentiment being at an extreme level, there's really no predictive elements that we can use from this chart. Something that I am watching though is, given the levels where we're at, a breakout would probably come on not extreme levels, so that would suggest that there's still more room to the upside before we would expect a larger retracement again. Moving to the S&P, sentiment is up from 77 to 78 this week, just a slight improvement. Technicals look pretty good though. We're at new highs and sentiment isn't at the extremes yet on the daily or the weekly. We're pretty close on the daily. Another update or two will probably push into the greed zone, so we'll need to be careful in monitoring in the Discord the daily sentiment levels before we start looking for the technical signals for a retracement. Given the technicals on the daily and the weekly chart and the levels of sentiment that we're at, I wouldn't really expect a retracement to be anything more than a pullback towards previously broken levels, like maybe somewhere around 46.40 or something like that. Moving to the Dixie, the US dollar index is unchanged from last week, reading of 77. It did move up a few decimal points, but it's rounding back down to the same level. We're sort of near the extreme greed level on the weekly chart, but we'll still need a couple more days of upwards price action to really push into that level to expect a retracement. If that comes, that will be really good for the risk on assets, stocks, and crypto, because they are typically inversely correlated to the dollar index. Gold sentiment is up from 63 to 72. It's still in the same price consolidation zone though. There aren't really any predictive elements to this chart. It will most likely be mirrored by price action. Moving above 2100 will have sentiment going up. Moving below 2000 will have sentiment going and probably flipping to a majority bearish under the midline. Daily technicals suggest we might have some near-term bullishness though. Last but not least, we're looking at the 30-year bonds. Sentiment is up from 55 to 68. Not being at extremes, there isn't any predictive elements to this chart. Seasonally and technically and cyclically, the 30-year bonds still have some room to the upside, but that's not really in the scope of this chart. I gotta say I'm sorry again for this poor sound quality, and thanks for struggling through it. It'll be better next week. Just a reminder, sentiment is great as an indicator, but it's really best utilized with some objective form of technical analysis to generate a signal to act on sentiment readings. If you like this analysis and want to help keep your emotions in check, pop into the Discord. I update sentiment there daily and have a bunch of extra tools and analysis that can elevate your trading game. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next week.